Welcome to Witchcast.
Cause it's Witchcast.
I'm Emily,
I'm Kate.
and we're your co-hosts of this, the Witchcast podcast.
That's right, where you're learning, growing, ever-evolving novice witches here to explore everything under the woo-woo, esoteric, spiritual umbrella.
And today, the umbrella's getting a little spooky because we have some ghost stories.
Yes, we're so excited to welcome a very special guest to our studio. She is an event planner. She's magnificent. She's an associate producer of a new documentary coming out and a longtime resident of the Chelsea Hotel. Please welcome Man-Laï.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
So happy to have you. Man-Laï, you are such a wonderful person. You have so much experience. I feel like you've been everywhere and you know everyone. Tell us a bit about yourself. How did you come to where you are today in your career as an event planner and also to live at the Chelsea Hotel?
Oh, well, it's the way how I handed it here. Well, I just was visiting New York as a club kid to go to Studio 54 New Year's Eve, actually. And we all came from a group from Europe, and I never went back. I found a sublet in the Chelsea Hotel. I thought it would be for 1 or 2 months, and here we are. You know, when you check in here, you never know when you check out. This is it. And talking about the ghosts, it says that the Hotel Chelsea and the New York Public Library are the most haunted two places in New York City.
Wow. Incredible. How old is the Chelsea Hotel? When did it first open? Do you know?
Oh, the Chelsea Hotel was built in 1884 with a French architect, and actually it was not a hotel. It was part of a philosophy from the French Fourier's philosophy of they were just starting to build a building with apartment. At that time was like a community building. It didn't exist. So the Chelsea Hotel was like 12 floor, like 12 families, and some was a little divided, two family on the one floor. But that's what had happened because the 23rd Street at the time, you see, was booming. It was a place where you have all the theater, all the actors. It was the Times Square of the time. Then with the crisis, all the theater moved to Times Square. You know, the properties and everything. Then 23rd went really down and they sold it as a hotel. And then in the 50s, the first generation, David Bard bought it. And because it was not doing so well, they had a connection with the owner of the Fillmore, the concert club. And those guys didn't know where to put their punk people because nobody wanted those punk musicians anywhere. But the hotel here was not doing well. So they said, bring it to the Chelsea Hotel. And that's how the whole music industry started. It's because of that at the Chelsea.
Wow.
What a storied history. And today it's residence again. It's not a hotel anymore, correct? Or can you stay
No.
there?
Now it's actually more hotels. I mean, since it was closed for 10 years and with the renovation now, it's a very 4-star celebrities hotel again now since 23. It reopened and we are only 29 tenants who survive the whole story, you know, the ghost, the punk, the mice and the rat, everything. I mean, and the roads, everything. We survived that. And then now the one who are here, we're only 29 now. Yeah. And then the rest is hotel. It's really, I mean, now it's a really with a fabulous restaurant downstairs, a lobby bar, and it's the place to be, what they call it now. But anyway,
Very cool, very chic.
Survive in the story. Yeah.
I haven't been in New York since the pandemic, so I'm a little behind. That's so cool. I'll have to come back and visit. Well, you've been there for years, as you said. Tell us, okay, let's just dive in. Tell us some of your favorite stories. I know you have so many of this famous.
Didi Ramon was my neighbor. That was a story for some time, and it was good. But then we have to go back to the early 80s. Okay, really, when I moved in, I was in a studio, so not in the actual place where you are. And that studio was surrounded by, I had the heroin dealers on one side, where you could walk around. The bodies were like really bad when I come back from Studio 54. And then I have the pot dealer across the street, across the hallway, Mark, who was like selling his dope. At 7 o'clock, they were lining up in the hallway. just like that. And then after that, I had Viva, the actress, move in, and we all know how Viva is.
Mm.
So Viva was Viva. So whenever we have a photo film shoot from Luc Besson, the movie from with Nathalie Portman, the
Mm-hmm.
professional, and Jean Reno, Viva was making all the scenes because she wanted to be noticed or more, and then Gabby going out with her script because she was a very young actress, Gabby Hoffman, and
Wow,
so
yes.
that was that part. We had fabulous. What do you say, that fire alert in 2 a.m. in the night? There was no Instagram, no, nothing at the time. If you had photographed, there was a guy with a snake, the one with the monkeys. There was the punk people like this in their white Hanes t-shirt, and then they come boots. I mean, that scene only for the fire thing, and I don't know why the New York Post was always there. I think that the owner, Stanley, when every time there was something dramatic like this, he was calling the journalists that he know that they were always there to photograph, but not us. So there was so much I mean, it didn't stop. You were there. There was Clemente, the artist in the elevator. You see Nina Hagen checking in, checking out. There was like a little like the celebrities, but more really the punk rock artists, celebrities at
Mm.
that time. Then of course, and all the one, like Patti Smith and Maplethorpe, they move in before me, but I know
Yeah.
when they wanted to come there, I said, I have no money, and Robert is going to be a superstar, so Stanley, we need a room. And Stanley gave a room because Stanley was giving room to the artist. It was its spirits like that, and also the artists were paying with paintings. That's why
Mm.
all
Oh,
the
that's so funny.
Chelsea is surrounded by paintings in the hallway, because that was how they were paying the rent, and that's very well known that the Chelsea there
Hmm.
was like. But then you had crazy guy. You had, okay, you were going in the lobby, and you have one who was like the wizard, was dressed like a wizard, go out, and he had actually tarot card, and he was telling you the tarot of the day. So when you go out, oh, okay, that's my tarot. Then you have
Wow.
one was probably found the wing from the fashion show from Victoria's Secret, and that Japanese guy was with his wing dancing between the lobby and the entrance outside in the street. I mean, it was constantly theater. I mean, when you were
Yeah.
living here, it was happening all the time. You just stay in the lobby, and that was it. That was really the 80s. Yeah. Now
Oh,
you
that's
stand in the
Mm.
lobby, you
amazing.
see Timothy Chalamet, Ariana Grande, Keanu Reeves, Matthew McConaughey. If you stay
Yeah,
in the
but probably
lobby,
none of them
this
have
is
a
the
snake.
Yeah, yeah, no snakes though for Timothy Chalamet. That's what an incredible way to like grow up in the city. And you were young, quite young then. And how did you pay your rent to Stanley? Like, did were you doing events when you first moved here, or
No, when I
did you
moved in
fall into
from
that
Europe, I
business?
was a fashion stylist at the time. So I was
Ah,
Mm.
really, really lucky. As soon as I came in, I started work. I was doing all the cover for Red Book magazine, for Ladies Home Journal, Cosmo. I came in right inside, and I was doing lots of catalogs, photo shoots. So, and I
mm,
was traveling a lot with all the, all the top models, all the islands. So that was it. And then of course I got my little girls, my twins girl pregnant. I was pregnant from my twin girl,
mm,
and then the girls, they grow up here and with the Chelsea Hotel Spirits. Of course, we have the YMCA across the street, who was very very gay at the time. So the girl were
mhm.
doing their swim lesson, and coming out there was a big bowl, and they said, "Oh, candies!" They grab it, and it was condoms, and I said, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Now it's time to talk to the girls about that was
Mm.
Chelsea and the hotel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you were also you in the 80s. It was at the height of the AIDS crisis as well. So I'm sure
Yeah.
that that was also
Oh
very
yeah.
much a part of the culture.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Because actually, 8th Avenue became really more. The gay would survive, from Bleecker. It all moved out to 8th Avenue between 14th and 23rd Street. So we
Yeah.
just that avenue started to really boom with all the gay community who bought apartment, and then the stores and restaurant. Then it really started boom, and then of course the YMCA, the gym across the street was like it was not the one from Susan Barge husband, the very trendy
Oh yeah.
gay, whatever, what,
Oh yes, what's
yeah,
it called? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. So, but it was, yeah, that was really the 80s. 90s, it changed. It shifted in the Chelsea Hotel because we got a wave of more writer artists. And then one comes, and then the other one, and then we had the feature editor from Vogue, of course, who move in, and so she moved in, and her husband, writer, also very well known. So we got another wave, much more mild, what we say, more intellectual, more soft, like late 90s. They just shipped for 2000. Yeah.
Ah, yes, they
Yeah.
traded the heroin for the whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. That was it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, there was some whiskey with a writer before also, but like, yeah, that. But then we said, talking about, we were saying about one of the weirdest. Like I said in my documentary, I have Harley Flanagan, who, for example, said in the documentary that Sid Vicious and Nancy was just across my hall. Okay, the door.
Wow.
That's
Mm.
when Nancy commits suicide. I mean, she stabbed herself like all the punk does, and Harley Flanagan actually explained that he moved into that room just after Stanley removed the body from Nancy. Of course,
Wow.
Stanley wanted to make money and rent it, and he rented
Mm.
to Harley Flanagan and another musician right away,
Mhm.
and they were so excited to be in the room where she died, that
Jeez.
the punks, they like to lick. They lick the floor and they lick the
Oh,
wall
jeez.
to try to get the blood from
Oh my
Nancy,
god.
and they slept under the sink where they found the body of Nancy to
Oh
Oh,
my
get
god.
the
Jesus.
feeling. This is the story
So
of Harley
punk.
Flanagan. But then
Yeah.
Harley Flanagan was hanging here when he was young as a punk. His mother was part of all the Andy Warhol crowd, and she was very friend of Jack Kerouac and William Burroughs, were all hanging here, drunk in the stairs, I think, and of course Harry Smith. And if you don't know about
Mhm.
Harry Smith, this is the big part of uh, voodoo seance,
Mhm.
really intense, in his room in the hotel. Harry Smith was a
Ooh.
writer,
Wow.
poet, artist, painter. He created the anthologies of folk music. It's
Mhm.
fantastic.
Mhm.
The great musician. But from what you said, his family grew up like a theorism, theophilosophy,
Mm.
which, I mean, it was like they are really in the occult,
Mhm.
learning about all the different religion and everything. And Harry Smith made a vow when he was a teenager that he would never had sex. So he was so all his art was so because of repression.
Yeah,
And he was
frustrated.
here in
Yeah.
the Chelsea Hotel in the crazy 70s, late 60s, 70s, like that. And he was creating all this art. And he collect everything, books, clothes. He was like a hoarder, if you want, artistic hoarder in his room in the Chelsea. And there is one story very incredible, that his cat died, and he wanted to absolutely resuscitate it. And he
Oh
had
my
an
gosh.
assistant. Uh, his assistant was a girl, really off, half, a little demented, but her parents saw that if they put her in the Chelsea Hotel, it was cheaper to put her in a very special home for
In an institution, yeah.
Right.
institution.
Yeah.
So, and she fell
Sure.
in love with this guy. She fell in love with Harry Smith, but there was no, okay, that was her.
Yeah, he
So she was
wasn't
his
sleeping.
assistant, and they cut the neck of a chicken with the blood. They put it on top of
Mm.
this cat, shaking the cat. It's all the whole history, trying to revive this cat, and this poor cat didn't
Yeah, it
No,
didn't
yeah.
work.
it was dead. So there is plenty of stories about Harry Smith staying in the Chelsea Hotel. It's very, very incredible. I mean,
Wow.
Wow. You
so
said
this
he
was
did
the 60s.
seances?
And yeah, he was doing seance, I know, because he was doing a lot of more. He was very into voodoo, because at a
Mm.
certain point, more in the 70s, there is some very wealthy people. Not sure the name. I mean, I could research the name, but were coming to see him, and we think that they were doing some seance because there was a group of people going to his room, which his room
Mm.
was really, like really a hoarder. I mean, it's just like, okay, I believe that the description was, but. Yeah, so there were some seance there at the time.
Wow.
And I mean, with
Wow.
all the spirits and the ghosts around, that so many people also passed away. We skipped
Right.
you that, but okay, there were some. So anyway, you know, it's very intense. I mean, so much drugs, so much, the world of course, the punk and the musician and everything and rock and roll, you know. So there is a lot of those energy, the soul
Yeah.
state, you know. And you know that when they had the Titanic,
Mm-hmm.
who came to town, so they host the family here. And
Really?
yeah, and that's why there is a ghost, because Mary was waiting for her husband and he didn't came up. He didn't. He died. So she commits suicide. And there is
Mm.
another person, their husband also. So they were. It was so all this, and they still see that people see her haunting the 10th floor. There is that big,
Wow.
yeah. So
Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit about the ghost of the
Yeah, tell us
hotel.
some more ghosts that you know in this
well,
in the
that's
hotel.
her, and then there is of course. Um, I suggest to watch my documentary because we talk a lot about that. But there is
Yeah.
one Mickey. Then he used to work here in the basement a lot. He was the cable or phone fixer and everything, and he worked a lot in the building. It's all I tell in my his interviews in my documentary. And he had this every time was coming. He had this kind of whooshy whoosh, I don't know, feelings, and like a kind of wind, or, you know, something blowing in his neck. And then he has this vision of always a blonde. So a lot of people said blonde because I think they think it's like
Oh.
Nancy, you know, Sid Vicious' girlfriend.
Mm.
And
Mm.
still now there are some of the people work here that they the bartenders, or you know, El Quixote, the Spanish, they say that sometime when they go at night, then they do the count of the in the basement of the drinks. I think they have those feelings down in the basement.
Mm.
Also, that all the figurine from the bar, that they are kind of, they're not the same the next day, and they don't understand because they said we don't touch it, it's nothing, and then we don't
Ooh.
get it. So is there a ghost in the Quixote? We don't know. Then in my
Mm.
apartment, when I move in, I have a friend of mine. She's from Paris, and she's a specialist on. She study all the paranormal, and she went frantic. And she said that I had right away. She pointed at my fireplace here, and she said, "Oh, you have a very very friendly old lady, and her spirit is here, and she's going to protect you. She's great." So that's what
Oh.
I believe or not. It's a very quiet inspirational corner, I have to say. And I gave her
Yeah.
a little mommy from Halloween. I gave her a little mommy next there, so she has a little friend. So next to
That's
the
so sweet.
fireplace, so she's not
Do
by
you
herself.
do you do you have a name for her? Do you call her a name at all or?
No, I said nice lady, but I don't have a name. Okay. I say, hey, nice lady,
We-
you're a good spirit.
oh,
But
that's nice.
Michael Imperioli, it's also on my documentary. He really experiment a lot of ghost story in his room, and Victor Cocho
Mm.
also experienced some gay stories in the room. Also,
Wow.
Dahlia and the Weinstein. She's a daughter of Arthur Weinstein, who was the one who worked at Studio 54. He was working at Limelight and open clubs. Arthur Weinstein,
Mm.
he lived here and died, as they passed away now. So his daughter and his wife had incredible story of a thing. His wife actually saw Steve Rubble coming out of the elevator when he was dead,
Oh,
and and then after she realized, she said, "Oh hi," and then she realized that
Right.
he was not living anymore. And her and her daughter has an experience that when Dahlia was in her room, she was 15, 16 years old here up on the second floor. She said to her mom, "Who is this young boy next to you?" And then her mom said, "No, I'm Dahlia, I'm alone." And she said, "No, no, he's just standing there. Come on, mom. Who did you bring in my room?" And it
Wow.
happened many times that her mom took her to the doctor to just see what's going on with my daughter, because she
yeah.
had,
Yeah.
and that went for a while. So they have really their ghost stories there.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah,
And
tell
it,
us about so you mentioned you that this is all in your documentary. Tell us about your documentary.
Well, the documentary is mostly about that time from 78, 79, 80s, about the musician who live here, and about the ghosts I tell you, and the history at the time. We talk a lot about the history of the avenue, of why and how the building was built. So we go
Mhm.
from the political stories, architecture, history of what was the time in United States at the time, and then we go to the music, and then
Mm.
you have a lot of interviews. So you have Michael Imperioli, you have Richard Baron, you have Cynthia Ross, from the B Girl. She was the first punk group in Canada when she was super young, and her
Cool.
her husband was a drummer of Sid Vicious, and very one of the number one drummer in the States at the time. And
Yeah.
then so we go with all this interview some people, the guitar from downstairs the hotel, of course. He deal with all the musicians, so he has great stories. And a couple of more. We had one of two artists already passed away. Sadly, I have three who passed away this 2 years. Well, since I did the documentary.
Wow.
Yeah.
The founder of Ruby and the Redneck, from also a very punk group. She passed away
Mm.
4 years just after that. And then you have the photographer. She photographed everybody in the 70s, 80s, and
Mm.
so I interview her, and she passed away last year. And then also the artist painter, Susan Schlesinger. She was a
Mm.
wife of George Schlesinger, who was actually more than 4 years older than her. I don't know. George Schlesinger is the one who had the monkeys, the snake, and a
Yeah.
turtle with
Yeah.
nothing on the floor on the 10th floor. And so
Wow.
Yeah.
Susan was his girlfriend, and he wanted to marry her. He married her, and the next day he died. So
Ooh.
Oh,
she was very young. She was like 24, and he was like, I
Oh
don't know.
boy.
So,
devastating.
so she got the whole estate mostly from, and
Wow.
then she used to live across my hall. So she's interviewed in the documentary, and unfortunately last year she passed away.
Mm.
And she was a great also painter artist, and so that's that's how life goes on
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
hotel.
Wow. So your documentary really has become a time capsule in so many ways, not only about like the time in the late 70s and 80s, but also you got to get all of these amazing interviews on tape before these
Yeah,
great
yeah.
artists have passed away. That's, I mean, sad that they passed away, but amazing that you got to work
No,
with
it
them
I was
one last
amazing that
time.
I could have the time to have them there. And then also
Yeah.
then we show the hotel now, and I talk a lot about how the hotel now, now with the renovation, it's on. Nothing stay forever. Everything to move, but
Hmm.
it's still really impacting all the young generation of musician and artists. So
Hmm.
it's
That's cool.
going on. And also, for example, they really respect the, even in the bar, they have a couple of drinks. They have one 8067 at the lobby bar, which is for Eddie Sedgwick. Then they have a naked lunch, which is for Jack Kerouac and William Burroughs, the drinks. So they respected, the mixologists really took the inspiration of who live in the Chelsea to create their
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so sweet. What
cocktails.
an
Yeah.
amazing place.
So we're trying
What's the name of your documentary?
Ghost of the Chelsea Hotel and
Ah.
Other Rock and Roll Stories. And it's
Amazing. And is
Ooh.
it out already? Can we watch it or is it
oh yeah,
still in post?
yeah, no, we
Okay.
just a couple of months now. It's streaming on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Fandango,
Oh.
YouTube. Yeah, you Google, you
Amazing. Oh, I'm
Perfect.
definitely watching
Exciting.
that this
Yeah. Yeah.
weekend. I had no idea. Congratulations, Man-Laï. That's amazing.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
We'll
won
link to
the
that. Yeah.
we won the New York Independent Film Festival. I won as the best documentary,
Congratulations.
and the one in Japan, best documentary in Japan.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats. And so this is, you said associate producer, but this seems like your project. You worked with a team on this, or how did this
Yeah,
project get
because I knew the
started?
director. The director, Danny
Mm.
Garcia, is from
Oh
Barcelona,
yeah.
and he's a specialized on music documentary.
Mm.
He already had done the rise and the fall of the Clash 10 years
Mm.
ago. That he actually really just rated it now, and then he had Brian Jones. He did one with for Sid Vicious, which is actually, you can see, it's called Sad Vacation, and this is always his investigation about Nancy and how she died. So it's called Sad
Mm.
Vacation. This you can find on even Netflix. You can find it on Tubi for sure. They were on Tubi. And then he did really one. Anyone who like punk rock music and the history, he did one before mine. It's called Max Kansas City and the Birth of Punk Rock, and it's really great. I
Mm.
mean, it's Billy Idol and Alice Cooper were the host, and
Oh,
it is really
cool.
good. He got some. He got the Coney Island best documentary on Coney Island. That one,
Amazing.
and that one is good. So this is the one, and it's on Tubi. It's the one before mine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right. Well,
Amazing. We'll link to all of
lots to
those.
check out then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So much watching. We'll put together a watch list for our listeners. That's fascinating.
yeah. Now there is another
Uh,
one called the First Stone for whoever is into music. So there is it's the one after mine is called the First Stone. It's an American really from late 70s group also, and it's a huge documentary just came out now also.
oh,
Wow.
All that
nice.
all
Wow.
in Tubi. So
He's
and
obviously been prolific.
Yeah.
that's it. So the Chelsea Hotel. This is that we really have to keep the spirits
Mm.
and the soul of this hotel alive. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because from the architecture, already from how it is set up, whoever want come to visit, actually, inside every hallways, from the west side, the west wing, last wing, it's full of art. It's like a museum.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
we don't tell, but we tell. If you want to see it, you just go in the elevator. There is so much tourists, so much people checking in. They don't check. Just go in the elevator, go up to the 10th floor, and just walk around. And it's like an incredible museum.
Wow. Okay, yeah, so
That's
Don't
so
you
tell.
cool.
you
Don't
didn't
tell.
hear it
I
from
tell.
us.
Yeah, yeah, that's a top
Wait,
secret
wait,
You
intel.
wait.
if
Really,
if
so
if
important
by
is
chance you
all
do,
the art.
be respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
see the
I was
Keith
gonna ask about
Haring. You'll see a lot of Keith Haring. You'll see Larry Rivers. You'll see
wow.
incredible Alex Katz. You'll see incredible paintings.
That's
Yeah.
so
It's
cool.
so cool. Yeah, I mean, and the Chelsea Hotel has held such an important place in terms of like American pop culture in the last, or
Yeah,
alt culture and pop culture in the last,
yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
almost 100 years.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, like, someone who has seen it go through so many changes and it recently did have those renovations, like, what are your thoughts? Because there's so many think pieces out right now about like the blandification of New York and how, a lot of, especially like the what it was that the cut article that came out about the white girls of Chelsea and how a lot of the neighborhoods of New York, of course, have gotten so gentrified, so commercialized. New York
Yeah, yeah.
historically in the 80s and 90s was very rough and gritty and like arts driven, and now is very much overrun by like kind of commercial capitalism. What are your thoughts about like the future of an institution like Chelsea Hotel? Are you worried? Are you excited?
No, that's why I think because we are historical buildings, so it cannot, it's protected at historic. Yeah.
That's good.
It's I can't talk for when it's going to happen, like in 30 years or there is 2 3 families here that the kids are here. Zev Greenfield, which is a photographer, which is in my documentary, is really involved, and his 2 sons are here, and he actually brought his sons on the stage every time they come with me to do the intro and the Q&A. Zev brought his son even when we did the Coney Island festival, and we did the intro and the Q&A. He brought his son because a lot of the cast comes to the intro every time I show the movie. I did
Oh,
Woodstock also,
amazing.
and I was open. His boy is there, and I think, well, oh my God, he was 7, he's 9 now, and we'll see. If this the little young generation, maybe he has this apartment from his mom, so I knew his mom
Yeah.
in the 80s. So then there is Nikolaya. She's also, she's the new generation. Her father is a writer. She wrote a book about the hotel when she was 17, how to live in the
Wow.
hotel, and she was 17 years old. Now she works for ID Magazine. She's really young, great writer. Okay, so let's see if that young generation, there is 3 or 4, but I mean it's
Hmm.
really not a lot. I mean, in the young generation, the other one we're going to go, and then but I don't know. I think well, who knows? Who knows what happened? I mean,
Yeah.
the owners really want to keep it as a hotel. Chelsea Hotel the way it is. So, of course, every time someone passed away, like those three people I told you passed away here, and like my neighbor Susan Schlesinger, I mean, in 6 months, 1 year, I mean, it's back to hotel rooms. Of course, it's very
Yeah.
quick.
Wow. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're not opening up for residencies anymore. It's just
Oh no
they're
no no
trying
no
to
no no!
convert it all to
This I
hotel.
asked them, and it's no way. They want to make money. I asked
Yeah.
them if they would have 1 or 2 room for residency for artists, something, but no, 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 no.
Wow.
That's too bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have spaces for artists in New York again. But I do think that, I mean, the economy is going to do what it does and we'll have our time again.
Yeah, we're gonna bounce back, guys.
Maybe there's other place or artsy place who would open, like, I don't know, Bushwick or somewhere. You know how things move and the artists move.
Yeah.
Then hopefully there is a artist buildings where they can create and not have to pay those awful rent. I mean, it's impossible. We
Yeah.
Yeah.
had an experience as soon as the hotel reopened here. I was running into an artist, and he was a lot in the lobby bar. And I talked to him, say, "Yeah, I'm from Texas." I said, "I'm a writer, I'm a painter." I said, "Oh, okay." He said, "I'm staying a month," and I was thinking, "Whoa, a month at $600 a room? Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I thought,
Hmm.
well, they gave him a break, like maybe 350 a room. But I said 3 months, and then I was trying to talk to him, and I see him writing every day in the lobby bar, and I found out as he's for a very, very Texan wealthy family.
Of
Oh, yeah.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I said, here we go. Here it is.
Yeah. I know it's unfortunate. I do hope though that, I don't know. I'm very excited about Zohran Mamdani, the new mayor. I hope
Yeah,
that more, artist residencies and or at least programs that allow people regardless of their income continue to like grow and flourish. We'll see. I think, but I feel I have hope. I have hope. New York is always this to me like my greatest love and as a city and just
yeah.
full of so many creative and interesting
It's
like
always
unique
going to be,
people.
always, because I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes I have this, because I'm from France also, and I hear that sometimes from Europe or from Barcelona, they said, "Well, New York is a no, it's not like it has to be an artist." And I said, "No, no, no. This is it. This is the only place in the world that you have this energy, this
Mm.
incredible, this osmosis of all the artists, and this all the people from all the world come here in New York, and it's really this melting pot to create this energy and this creativity, and this is not going to change. It's not going to
Mm.
change. They'll find a
Absolutely.
way, and a lot of people are coming back to the Lower East Side also. Even we're in Brooklyn, and they're moving back to Lower East Side to some. There's still some quite a bit in Lower East Side of rent stabilized. So
Mm, good.
some rent stabilized or people passed away. You know, and then it stayed the landlord. And I have friends also even in rent stabilized apartment. They are in the where it's supposed to be very expensive. The gay part in around 47th Street, 52nd Street there, and 8 and 9
Hmm.
Avenue. There is all this very fancy, okay, new building with all the amenity, but there is still some rent stabilized, and there's
Mm,
a lot of people, some people,
good.
if you look, you find. So that's, I think there's always New York's always going to be a center of creativity. I mean, this is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
place, the only place, the only one. I mean, you can be artist, musician, violinist, I don't know, a sculpture, any kind of art, or things that you are interested about, you find it here. You find
Mhm.
everything. So, I mean, you can see. I'm
It's the
sorry, I'm
best.
really a fan of New York, okay? Because even my friends in France say, "When are you coming back?" in Paris, and I said, "No, no,
I know. It's a high
no,
high
no."
praise for someone from France to
Like,
say New York is the
I'm
best.
totally like a New York fan. So I mean, it's in.
Yeah.
This is it. Stanley asked me, "When are you going to move?" When Stanley Bard was still living. Oh, in the documentary, you see that it's dedicated to Stanley Bard and his son David Bard.
Oh,
So
that's
my
nice.
grandpa is also David who bought it, but it's three generation. But when Stanley
Wow.
asked me a certain time, "Man, like, when are you going to leave?" And I said, "Stanley, I'm not going to leave. I never leave. I'll be like Nancy.
Never.
I'll live in a
Yeah,
very
Living
yeah.
in a
In a
casket.
bag.
clothing structure, and that's it, because this is it. This is my home." And Stanley was
Oh,
also asking me, but he said, "I'm not your dad." And I said, "Yeah, Stanley, you are our dad. You're the dad of every artist who here, because that's why everybody can stay and live here." So,
Aw.
and that's that. I mean, we own really the hotel to Stanley Bardi, and the
Right.
family. I'm in touch with the family and his grandkids who were coming around a lot. They were all at the screening. When I screened, the first screening was at Joe's Pub when I did it, and they
Oh
were
yeah.
all there
Nice.
at the first screening. Yeah, so
Mm.
yeah, it's
That's
all we
sweet.
own it to the Bard family, the Bard. Yeah.
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 Amazing. It's
Yeah, I
so
mean, it was such
rare.
a great thing for them to do or for Stanley to do to say, okay, if you can't make rent, I trust that you guys are, one of you is going to make it, like.
Yeah, and to just also keep it in the family. I feel like so many landlords end up selling to big firms and like, trying to make money, and I love that
He never
they
wanted to sell actually, but
yeah.
the two other partner who had nothing to do, uh, the young two other partner, because they realized that their grandparents left them a real estate building in New York. The grandparents was a two partner of David Barr. They bought it in the 50s. The
Mm-hmm.
other generation didn't realize. And then the rear grand one, they suddenly appear here from Orange County and I don't know where. And they say, oh, we own a building in New York. They had no
Ugh.
idea what it was.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
that's when it
god.
started bad. They sue Stanley. Stanley lost. And that's when those lost his vote. And those two decided to sell the hotel. Stanley would
Ugh.
have never sold.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh,
But in another
well,
way, if this hotel would not have been bought by the company like now, it wouldn't survive because it needed
yeah.
all the plumbing, all the electric, all the things was
Mm-hmm.
falling apart. When we were
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
it was really falling apart. We have to admit.
Yeah.
So it needed to totally refurbish. I mean, the spine of the hotel needed to be rebuilt. So
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
they did now with the group who owned it, and at least now is there to stay.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, I mean, as it has historical status, like you said, you're still living there, so we'll consider it all a win. I think. But I wanted
Yeah.
to ask you before we draw a tarot card, do you have one like very do you have a story or a memory of when you were really scared? I want a spooky, scary, like ghost story. Have you ever had a moment when you were living at the Chelsea Hotel where you were like, this is super freaky?
There were freaky situation, but I am my personality. I am like I would say that very I'll go with the flow.
Yeah, you're
So if
very
Mm.
I
chill. You're very cool.
you would say something happened and say, "Oh, what should we do?" Okay, there was a fire really, really bad on my floor, under my floor, and 705. You couldn't
Oh,
even walk on the floor because it was so burning. The flame. I
Whoa.
didn't go to my apartment, but we all have to rush out, and I was had to live with no leaving my cat. I couldn't find him. He
oh
already hidden,
no.
and it was terrible because I thought. But
Mm.
then after I found him, where he hide.
Oh,
But
good.
Good.
I mean, it was like they were terrible. So that the thing, but otherwise, I mean, beside the some fire, yeah, because my neighbor, as I said, also one of the when the heroin dealer left, I got the pimp who moved in with his girlfriend,
Mm.
and she
Mm-hmm.
put the fire of the mattress because she was so jealous.
Oh,
So
jeez.
there was so many fire in the hotel that I mean, it's like okay, it's like. And then this guy was running around with this knife, cutters, in the elevator, cutting all the paintings. He was on a trip. He
Oh.
was tripping. So there was all
Yeah.
the situation. I said, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And then, yeah, when I saw the body, I don't even want suicide, but I saw the body who fell. That was really bad. I mean, he fell from the
Mm.
10th floor on my floor on the
Oh.
staircase. That was really bad. The
Oh,
body, but okay. And then the other lady we saw, and I had to hide my kids because she jumped from the ninth floor on top of the taxi was down. Yeah,
oh my
and the
God.
body stayed there for a while because I don't know the police, and then they cover it, but that was it. So there was some of those. Okay, where do I live? There is a
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, just
if
everyday
you
New
want,
York things.
if you want to freak stories, you get the book from Didi Ramon, the Chelsea Hotel Horror Stories. It's a small book from
Mm.
Didi Ramon, and with his
Okay.
drawings also. I tell you,
Oh,
there is
perfect.
Oh,
really
great.
spooky story in the Didi
Yeah.
Ramon's books, okay, about the Chelsea Hotel. Yeah, but so
Okay.
Right.
that's it.
I
So
kind
I
of
was,
regret asking you.
I think the rest,
No, that's good.
I don't know. There is some other stories, but no, between it was always the drugs.
Huh.
We said, yeah.
Yeah. Not a boring life by any means you've had,
Mm.
for sure.
No, that's what it's that's what I stay. I was not going to move up to a little regular Upper West Side apartment with a regular doorman. No, please.
Why?
Yeah,
Yeah, no
wouldn't be the
way.
same.
Oh, and then you have this
Oh,
fabulous painter who actually, Iroya was also in documentary, who was like always in the lobby, and he was doing kabuki, saying in the lobby. I mean,
Ooh,
please, and
cool.
he was giving you a drawing with his little pad every day to everybody. He was giving his drawing to everyone like this. It was like, sadly, he OD at the CVS across the street.
Oh,
Uh,
damn.
jeez.
yeah, so that's part of the.
Yeah.
We go on and on with
Wow.
stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good old New York. Incredible. Incredible. I just
Yeah, thank you so much for your
thank
stories.
you for your stories. I feel like I could just listen to them all day, but I do want
Yes,
you to draw
well,
a tarot card. You have a beautiful tarot deck for us.
yes,
It's called the Phantomwise Tarot, right?
yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Love
so
it.
pretty.
And do you read tarot? Is this something that you're interested in?
I used to do it like mostly like in the early '80s. I have
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different deck, and I collect the decks.
Wow.
So when you say tarot, I say, oh yes.
Oh,
But
perfect.
I try to, base do the basic, but then I give up because
Fair enough.
I wanted to know the tarots in the '80s to tell me when I was going to be pregnant and when I was going to get kids, and I was doing everything. I mean, tarots, the crystal ball, the tea leaves, everything you could do to see. And finally, well, I got my
Did it
fabulous,
work? Yeah, and you
yeah,
got your twins.
Yeah.
and everything. But I did, so now the tarots, no, I just look at them and also try to collect because I like the drawings
Yeah, the artwork, yeah.
of the
Yeah.
art. Yeah, yeah. So.
Oh,
So you want me to
wonderful.
take one? What do I
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
so
like
for this, we just want a tarot card of the day.
yeah,
Tarot
just
card
pick,
of the day.
So to
Okay,
speak.
okay. I'll take this one. Let's see what it is. Well. Okay. Let me show you. Well, you probably know.
wow, the
Oh, the
Hierophant.
Hierophant.
Amazing. I love that artwork. Will you take a
Yeah.
photo of that and we can post it on our social?
Yeah.
That's
So the
beautiful.
Hierophant is number 5 in the Major Arcana, right? And it's sort of like a guide, especially like sort of a religious guide in your life, or like a sort of like more structured guide, right, Kate?
Yeah, we just posted a tarot bites about this where I called him the Pope, but it's like it's kind of about like
Yeah.
structure and foundations in your life. Kind of usually relating to religion or practice of some sort.
He has two
Mhm.
cats on each side. Also,
Yeah.
see.
Yes, it's
Wow,
a black and
yeah.
white card. It has an illustration of like a man with a long white beard and long white hair sitting on a big like overstuffed armchair. He's surrounded by books and there's two cats on either side of him,
Yeah,
kind of almost like lion guards.
in front of all the books and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very
Yeah.
learned. He's like it's very studied, which I think the Hierophant speaks to
Well,
like kind of going back to the books.
it fits very well in the artistic history of the
Yeah,
hotel.
it's
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean it's like
this is
perfect
a
for our
perfect card for this
conversation.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also all the people who've come before you, all the experts and learners. I think like what's so fascinating about the Chelsea Hotel and your stories is like you are living history, and where you live and who you are is like an amalgamation of many years of like all these other creatives who've come through and like put their mark and left their energy, and like that energy is just, we talked about this with another guest about ley lines, and I just couldn't help but think there's got to be a major ley line underneath the Chelsea Hotel. Like there's a lot of energy there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one goes, I forgot to mention, if you have 1 minute, it is
Please.
also the building, the Chelsea Hotel was built on the ground where it used to be a furniture's warehouse. And apparently, of course, in the documentaries I'll explain, but anyway, apparently the owner, because he owed so much tax, burned his warehouse over a
Oh.
weekend with all the wood furniture in this. It was a lot here. It was supposed to have no one, but supposedly there were one or two people who were there and were burned, and that's what they
Wow.
said. That also this is the ghost was still haunting because the hotel was built on on a lot where there were some people who die and
Wow.
Mm.
Oh my
okay.
gosh, so much history.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That building's gotta be.
I'm gonna
gotta
come
be at
visit
least a
you,
little
Man-Laï. We're
haunted.
gonna come visit you and walk around the
Yeah,
halls and
please,
do some
Yeah.
ghost hunting.
yeah. Oh no, please, you have to.
Oh my gosh. So you can watch Ghosts of the Chelsea Hotel as well as the other documentaries that Man-Laï mentioned on you said Ghosts of the Chelsea Hotel is on Hulu and Tubi. We'll
Amazon
link
Prime.
Not Hulu, but Amazon Prime
sorry, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Tubi or Fandango or well, you'll find when people have them.
Yeah, and we'll put a
And
link
there
to
is
it on our
also-
website. Yeah.
There's Max Kansas City and the Birth of Punk Rock, and then the one really only about Nancy Sid Vicious' girlfriend, groupie. It's called Sad Vacation.
Sad Vacation. Yep. Okay. So we'll link to all those on our website. But how can people follow you, learn? I mean, you also do event planning, which we didn't even get time to talk about, but how can people follow you and keep up with your adventures?
Well, you have the best is on my Instagram, which is Man-Laï Events. And beside that, there's my website, but this is really for the event planning, which is manlai.com, But I think that with my Instagram, it's also the best. Or for business, there's also my LinkedIn. It's Man-Laï Liang for my last name, Man-Laï Liang for the LinkedIn. And,
Okay, great.
And I think that's it.
Perfect.
That's great. We'll link to all of that on our website as well and on our Instagram at witchcastpodcast.com and we'll tag you, of course, in our Instagram at witchcastpodcast. Feel free also if you guys have any questions for Man-Laï or suggestions for us or anything, email us at witchcastpodcast@gmail.com. We love to hear from you.
While you're out there on the internet, you are welcome to leave us a 5-star review anytime you want. It helps other people find us and makes us feel nice. Leave a review anywhere fine podcasts are listened to. And until next time, Hex yeah!
'Cause it's Witchcast.